3, 2, 1. Bananas and pajamas. We're live.
We are here on the Dotline on a Sunday, like full-on bananas and pajamas, as Grant Ellis just so put it. I couldn't have done any more justice to my current Sunday. I am so glad to be here with all of these people, which we'll get to meet here in a second, as well as all of you. So thanks for stopping by. If you are new to the channel, click some things. Marcy's going to tell you a little bit more about that. But I feel like there was an announcement, one really important announcement that's not on the list. Oh, this upcoming week, I'm taking a vacation.
Ooh, where are you going?
Well, I'm going to the woods to turn off for 6 days with no running water, nothing. I'm going to go burn. I'm about to go to a burn. I'm very excited. It's my annual burn. I'm gearing up. So there will be no Witch Girls or Purloin Code this week on the Dotlet. But if you are a Patreon supporter, you'll be getting a slew of new content, which is behind the scenes, like interviews and chats with the girls and after show footage. So, that's how you get that. Okay, I'm done. You're you. This is Marcy. I'm going to let her take it away.
Hey, everybody. If you'd like to, you can support the Dot Lot by giving donations or bits. Every gold coin you give goes right back into the channel where we roll dice and story reigns supreme. You can also donate all year long to the Dot Lot Extra Life campaign, where Dot's raising money to support the Miracle Children's Network. And every dollar and bit you give, even if it's to Extra Life, goes toward filling our Curiosity Bar, which is where, when it fills up at $50, that's when weird things happen in the game. You can also show your support by following and subscribing to the channel, so you will never miss a moment of what's going on in the Dot Lot. Now, let's get to the recap. So, once again, welcome back to Gaelica, this little old fantasy setting where we are just starting to kick into high gear with some kind of plot that these fine characters find themselves in today. We're going to introduce them in a moment. Let me explain what happened last time, though. Last session, the party arrived to Mazur. It's the shining city on the riverbed, the capital of Demir. They parked their giant mechanical turtle outside of town carefully before entering. They noted a few things here, that the sky above Mazur is full of avian traffic all its own, whether it be small messenger birds or larger ones supporting riders of all sizes. They also noted that weapons and dangerous weapons, of course people had walking sticks and stuff, but items of power and larger, more heinous looking weapons, unless you have some sort of authority, are being checked at the door by the Missourian guards, who wore standard uniform, much like all of Demir's militia. And they also realized that some kind of event was about to happen. And it's true. The Prayer and Bardbird races here in the capital city of Mazur are about to start. It's a racing event featuring these large reptilian, very intelligent birds. They don't fly so much. They kind of saunter a little bit up and down, but they're mostly known for their running. So this party found their way to the Temple of Berna, where they were under the impression that they would find somebody, meet somebody, by a note that they found in Sariaros' things, the NPC which binds them in some way altogether. They knew that this person at least was here. And when they arrived, they found a statue of Berna, who in this setting is the god of morality. This statue stood about 12 feet. It was a hooded figure, one hand pulling back, but it also had 3 other hands. One of those was pointing at an empty lot across the street from it, and the other 2 held a staff. The party investigated this empty lot, finding it to be a garden tended by a tannin with beehives for eyes, who tilted their head and honey came out sometimes. They investigated the lot for a little bit, and they learned a couple of things here. It was very curious, because in the library that Carmine had found this address in, they discovered that this was referred to as a jail. But from the way the gardener talked and from the way that everyone sort of treated the area around, it's kind of just a fact of life and perhaps something a bit more meaningful than a jail here. It was here that Professor Munster discovered the door. It was hidden in some sort of magical direction that you need to look at in just the right way. And his special connection to magic allowed him to see it, discovering that there are one of two ways the door can be opened, one of which involves a key, and the other involves some sort of dance for a creature with 4 arms. The party figured out the dance and tangoed and twisted their way into jail. They found themselves in a very smoky, hazy labyrinth, some strange and esoteric place where their memories came back to them. Not all of them, but just enough. And they encountered a few creatures on the way. The first one they encountered was an elk anima named Bragadier. They spoke to him for only a moment before realizing, oh no, he needed to be in here. And figured out that most people who can either see this place or end up here have some sort of terrible history that they are struggling with. They also encountered some kind of rabbit mercenary. Professor Munster also had his own encounter with a memory of a lecture that he was given, and a student there. Carmine interceded to ask a question within this memory, but Professor Munster found himself looking into the eyes of a student, which this part of the memory threatened to trap him here. But he broke out, and they next encountered a frog man claiming to be the Owl of Lysia, because a very nice Theron man had shown him some paperwork and had him sign it saying so. They were unimpressed by this. And just before this happened, Maeve recalled a memory herself. She had gone through the ropes of claiming that this place would not have power over her, which might have incurred a test, which she passed. She experienced a memory that brought her back to a time that she had a hiatus with Sariaros. And in this memory, threatening to be left there by abandonment, she pulled out just fine and recalled that Sariaros had had some sort of engagement, maybe not romantic, or maybe it was a little hazy, but she recalled that there was a man named Bentley Barnum, a Theron man, a woodworker, who fit the bill. And the initials on the letter were BB. It made sense. They finally encountered one last person before leaving here. Just as things began to shudder, they knew something was waking up here, something strange. They encountered a man named Adric Halethorpe, who said that he had been following somebody who was calling themselves the Owl of Lysia through a string of related robberies which had not gone public yet. At this point, a creature, an old god, awoke, knowing that they were trying to leave, attempting to stop them. It did not stop them as they escaped this place. But it did leave Maeve with a scar to remember it by. It called Berna the imprisoner, and gave Maeve a gift to punish followers of Berna more aptly. We ended the session with guards outside hearing the words Owl of Lysia and arresting Adric and our little frog friend, Picolio, or Gherkin Picolio, on site.
Picolio.
Yep.
Pap, pap, pap.
He's best, Owl.
He is the Frowl of Lysia.
He's the Frowl.
But yes, that's where we leave today. That's where we start today. Or just outside of this temple, where Adric Halethorpe and Picolio are being arrested. They don't really have handcuffs for a tiny frog anima. They just use a small length of string and put thimbles over his hand.
Oh no. Okay.
Adric turns to you and says, Don't worry. I've had the exonerating evidence sent to them, so we'll be free in a couple of days if you're around for that. But we have to go through this. One of the guards looks very annoyed at this.
To be fair, didn't you think you would also be free from the prison in a few days?
I don't like the tone you take with me, he says in a very Adric way. But they're being shuffled off. One of the guards remains to talk to you all, asking as they stand there, what do you know these people? Anything about them?
Well, he's the Owl of Lysia, and I point at Kirk and Pacolia.
I laugh again. I think they're just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. This is our 6th grandfather. I point to the frog. He's not well in the mind. Right, everybody?
And just to be clear, Senna actually believes the frog is the Owl of Lysia.
Yes,
okay.
Very much so.
Just wanted to double check.
Very much believes that it's actually, and that we cannot walk off without this frog unless somebody convinces her otherwise.
He smells of cologne. I point at Adric. Pangoliath can't lie.
You can go ahead and roll me an intelligence check to deceive.
Okay.
An intellect check to deceive, rather.
This is not her thing. Senna has probably never deceived anybody in her life of anything. This is like...
It's a bad habit.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to use 1 point of effort on this. Because... Oh, yeah, I have nothing.
It's okay. It's going to be a difficulty 4 task.
I do not succeed in any way. I'm going to use an XP because I have plenty of it to reroll.
You have so many.
I have so much XP. I'm going to reroll. Okay, I'm going to reroll that. And rerolling. The beats a difficulty 3. I still didn't quite make it.
If anybody's helping, it drops it by 1.
I'm not helping. I'm doing the opposite of that with my honesty.
It's true.
Maybe you cannot come up with how a frog could be related to them. So like,
I did.
That's kind of why it's a 4.
All right, Pangoliath will speak up. This is my good friend Gherkin Picolio, with whom I just met, but I am extremely impressed. Look at how he moves. Look at the shape of his sinews and his lowers. He's a very adequate frog.
Picolio with like a thimble on each hand goes, thank you, friend, and then claps them together, but they just make tiny clanking sounds.
Clink, clink, clink. Oh, and I see that and I go, please unthimble him. I am responsible for his life.
Wait, hold on. What did you roll on your last roll, Chelsea?
A 10.
A 10? Mm-hmm. That'll be because it was a 4 and then you dropped it down to a 3.
Oh, really? Okay, I keep smiling and nodding then. Yeah, whatever he says.
And just all of your money.
The guards share this quick talk. Maeve, with your Gant's hearing, or perhaps you're just quietly paying attention, you hear them say, yeah, I don't actually know how a bunch of frogs would have, or how one frog would have done all this.
Very
they
unlikely.
do. They will take the contract from Gherkin Picolio, however.
That's okay. Can I take Gherkin and put him like in my shell or in a safe
You
place?
can. They unthimble the frog and hand him back to you.
I gingerly, I'm just like put my finger to my mouth, looking at Gherkin, like just don't say anything, and I just like tuck him away safely in the shell.
And Edric nods at the guard as well and goes, "Yes, that was not the Owl of Lysia." And they take him away.
Thank you for giving us back our frog.
Good riddance.
Good riddance.
Well, that was interesting.
I'm so tired. My speed is at 2. My speed pool's at a 2. I should probably recover. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could also recover some intellect points if you want to take 10 minutes.
We could maybe sit.
Pangoliath, all of his scales are back.
You're looking refreshed.
Yes, I blame the frog. He's medicinal, if you rub him on you.
You know, Carmine kind of like, during that entire conversation, they were just kind of sort of leaning against a building watching, but now that all the busyness is gone, you know, my favorite cafe's around here. If we want to go get lunch.
Cafe? What is this?
Food, drink.
Oh,
You mentioned a rest.
that would be nice. I look back. We're still somewhere. Are we nearby this labyrinth, like where we came from? How close are we to where we just left? Yeah.
You actually just exited out of it.
That's what I thought. Like, we're still next to it. Senna looks over her shoulder, very clearly very tired. And she says, this place is strange. And it makes me uneasy. I don't know what a cafe is, but it must be better than this place. Any place.
I'd have to agree. I don't know about you all, but mysterious memory prisons created by elder gods is no substitute for rehabilitation.
It wasn't that bad.
I feel rather called out by that. So, as you take some time to recover, there are much better places that you could have been than this. And in fact, you probably try to clear your mind a little bit by thinking of perhaps your more favorite places, or perhaps your favorite place. And if you describe those to me, I'd like to give you an asset for this evening.
Well, we're going to Carmine's, which is this tiny cafe, where in the past they've let them bring along their capture target from their Hell Knight duties.
Nice.
Just
Wonderful.
like, you're gonna stay here, don't make any trouble.
No, of course not. I kind of look around and take it all in.
And I think whoever's working there recognizes Carmine because they're a Hell Knight in all their gear, and they kind of do that like knowing nod when you're like, oh, that's a I know that customer, and they bring out their favorite. It's like 3 tiny pastries. It's like there's like an orange bun and a cinnamon roll and something else I'll think of, but
A tea cake. Pull apart.
yeah, just little tea cake, little lemon tea cake.
Yeah, it's a tannin, a non-binary tannin with yellow skin who's running this place tonight, named Helia, and they bring you 3 pastries, your favorite ones. 2 of them are the same flavor, and one of them is a different one.
All right.
Interesting.
Oh. Go ahead, Sedna. No? Oh.
You first.
All right. You may remove me from the show after this. Pangoliath speaks up. He goes, oh, yes. I have a favorite place. The Roulon Mouge. A nightclub, a dance hall, and a bordello. Ruled over by Zerald Hidler. A kingdom of nighttime pleasures, where the rich played with the young and beautiful creatures of the underworld. The most beautiful of these was the national dish that I loved, poutine. And then he kind of just smears.
Senna looks very confused. Her brow furrows. There were many things in that I did not understand.
It was the summer of love.
Well, I don't know much about that kind of a favorite place, or this kind of a favorite place, but I have a favorite place. Sometimes when my people choose to settle, because we are nomads, they set up different structures, and one of them is the archive that keeps all of our family history. It's like it's given to one person as a task, and they watch over all of the scribes and books, and they have to carry them. And then when we arrive, they set it up and they open them for the people to be able to read through and view, but only a few times a year. And so it's always my favorite place when they set up the library tent, because then, well, everybody gets to share in our family history.
That was very personal. It's very interesting as well. That would be quite fun to see sometime.
It is a job. The keeper of our lore, as we call them, usually an elder. Their entire lives, all they do is carry around scrolls and books from place to place.
Somewhat reminds me of a place I used to go to. Haven't been back in quite some time. An old recital hall, I believe, down by the academy I used to teach at. It was old, so old. But it was the age that made it special, because I was small and I could get into places that were never meant to get into, and I could lay above while band, orchestras, choirs performed, their music resonating through the very boards of which I had spread my notes on. It was a fun time.
Wow.
My favorite place is time also. A long, long time. In that direction. It was about, would be roughly like 20 minutes after I awoken. After all the, I guess, burning sensation settles down. That first true breath that you take in a temperature and humidity that is absolutely suited to you. That was my perfect place.
That resonates. I love the salt in the air. Here it's so crisp and cool. There it stings the nostrils.
I like to mention, Munster ordered a hot cup of milk and is now currently taking a milk bath. Just
At the table.
takes his own, the clothing he wears. He just wears a jacket. He takes the jacket off and then he just dips in the milk cup.
Oh man. Is it normal to bathe at the table? Should we all get hot milk? This is all new to Sydney. This is a very... Is this part of... Should I get some? A larger...
No, this is... we're rarely in a place that has such services, so...
Oh!
I find to enjoy the luxuries while we still have them.
I've never taken a milk bath.
It's quite nice. You might need a lot more milk.
It's true. Well, what... we're here. We've had a very exhausting experience. I'd like to try something new.
Speaking of new, Pangoliath, did you say something earlier about races of some sort?
Oh yes, there was a I encountered some interesting folk, and they were looking for a bit of journalismo to be done, where we would put over and celebrate the great races that they participate in. I think we've got a cracking good shot to win the thing if we put our talents together.
A race?
You mean actually participate?
I'm not saying I have delusions of grandeur, but his eyes kind of get that look where a latent program, the competitive edge, turns on, where Pangoliath is seeing our party hoisted up above the masses. We're wearing like little track suits, and we're on podiums higher than everyone else, and kind of like Maeve has like 12 medals around her neck, and he's just like, I think very well we could win. Or at least pretend that we did. I don't know.
As you look around, this is probably the first time you've seen Carmine smile, eating these tiny pastries. just really savoring them. It's been a while since they've been back in town.
Frightening smile.
You see all the teeth. They're all pointing.
All teeth. It's like, It's like a Narnia villain cackling.
I was thinking more like the Chomp Chomps from...
Yeah.
from Mario.
Love it.
Munster, I guess we'll look around, see if there's like any kind of bulletin or flyer with some more like info, like when the race is, if you can sign up to participate.
Oh yeah, good call.
Of course. So it doesn't take much looking around. You don't need to roll for this. You just need to spend some time, maybe dry off with a napkin first. But you do, as you just do some mousy investigation, maybe jumping onto the back of the chair and then scuttling off and like listening to people. Here that, the race that that Pangoliath is speaking of is a different race. It's an international sky race that the Demirans mostly host. And then the one tomorrow is the Prayer and Bard Bird races. So the international one isn't for a couple of weeks, but this one is tomorrow on the backs of reptilians, birds, it's Prayer and Bard birds.
Do
Anything
we
on
all
like sign up
enter?
information?
Is there a team bird? Team races? Or is this about to be like Wacky Racers where we all have our own bird and just wing it?
I want to be the Muttley to like Carmine. Muttley laughed the whole time.
Yeah, let's find information. That's good.
I'll be the pet in the back, like in Speed Racer.
From posters, you see that the birds aren't necessarily mounted. There are drawings and designs which show them. Racers will usually stand on some sort of chariot if they're large enough, and it looks like there's only two wheels, so they're kind of supporting themselves by balance and strength. Others who are small enough to fit on the birds, because birds don't have a huge bone density to tout, lighter weight creatures can actually ride them.
Are there any designs that look like they have any sort of flying blimp attached to them?
No. And from what you've seen in Mazur so far, it appears that Pangoliath's balloon design is very new here. There have been that are similar in this regard. There are parachutes designed for the Skyway riders, which have a similar design, but because the birds are so plentiful, not a whole lot of people have experimented with the idea of making parachutes go up yet.
Interesting. Well, Pangoliath, it seems that if we do indeed enter, we might have a competitive edge. Is there any more information about who we could go talk to sign up, / rent a bird, / figure out this is a team activity, or if we all get our own bird and make this one wacky bird off racing?
Yeah.
Wacky bird off racing. Yes, you can. The race starts in this amphitheater in the center of the city, so you can start there. Take a look at what they are doing.
Well, I'm feeling a little better after a rest. My poor webbed feet needed it. Maybe we should take to the town and find more information before it's too late for us to sign up?
Might be fun. Carmine, are you done eating all your sandwiches?
Oh, kind of like pops out of their reverie. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited.
All right, yeah. Munster will scamper up Senna's leg and up to her shoulder and say, all right, onward.
Senna sets out. And she's like, I never got to race anybody when I was growing up. They said I had an advantage with my webbed feet. They probably just swim racing.
Now that you're up there, you see that Gherkin Picolio also has a small saucer that they're drinking tea from.
Just hiding in the shell. It's like,
well, not quite hiding. He's just kind of stuck into it and drinking. He's like, I overheard that you were talking about your favorite places to go. My favorite place is anywhere I've been because every place is magical. And he just continues drinking the tea. I appreciate every moment that I spend here with anybody who will care to spend it with me.
Sydney goes, do you hear something? It's a
Marcy,
tiny conversation.
I
tiny
highly
conversation.
appreciate your mimicry of Colin's accents. They're very good.
They are very good.
I try. So yeah, you head off to the amphitheater. It's a very, very tall building, much like the rest of the stonework here, has various pieces of glass and mosaic tile set into it. This one in particular has no real story that you can see. This seems to be more of just a mural, perhaps of different warriors or of different pieces of history, and you see a few people who might be kings. It doesn't seem like there's an associated story with it, more so just kowtowing to very important figures from Demiran history. And it's very busy here. Bumbling around are carts, people who are taking birds with them, feeding them, taking them out to exercise them. And you finally find yourself in some sort of line, a curated line for racers and other sorts of, I guess, problem solving, like caterers, racers, figuring out seats, trying to fix broken things. There seems to be a couple of people overseeing this, and you find one person who doesn't happen to be helping anybody right now. They appear to have their line empty, and they have a book open.
I have a very important question.
Yes.
Are any of the birds looking me like they look at food?
Oh, yes. If one of them notices you, you see their face sort of drag over, but they're all muzzled to an extent. Mostly because no matter how nice you treat them, they're still in a somewhat stressful position right now. So they mostly are muzzled unless you go into the free area for them. But yes, they are looking at you like your food.
I glare at them a little bit. Do I pick up on the fact they're looking at him like food?
Yes.
I would like to intimidatingly stare.
Okay. Do you want to stare with a roll, or do you just want to stare?
I want to stare with dice. I do.
All right, go ahead and roll. It's going to be a difficulty. We'll make it a 2.
Intellect, I'm guessing.
Intellect.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I have
to intimidate or show dominance.
Because I don't necessarily always enjoy birds either.
I don't like
they
the way
can sit and poop anywhere.
Okay, so so difficulty 2. I'll add some effort to this. Submitting. Oh, I only rolled a 2. Oh, you know what? I got XP. Okay, I'm just sitting on XP. We're gonna re-roll it. I want them to know that Senda means business. That's us 18. That'll
Nice.
do it.
You give off this particular kind of energy with the two of you standing up for your mousy friend, especially because it's on because Munster is on your shoulder. Like, it's hard for you to miss that this thing is like being drawn to maybe the frog or mice scent that's coming out of your shell. And the energy that you give off, I guess, can only be described as like one of the mice from the Rescuers Down Under. Now,
Boris and Bianca?
It's probably Bianca. Bianca was the top in that relationship. Anyway, yeah, you give the bird a stare back, and its feathers ruffle and it backs up. You've successfully scared this bird, and its caretaker just gives you a look and marches off with it. not wanting to
Sydney lets out a little like,
cause any more
caw.
stress.
Just- yeah.
Thank you, Senna, Maeve. I guess it does pay to socialize a bit more with people that aren't quite your size.
I think
But-
it just pays to be nice to one another. We walk around looking at each other like we're food. What kind of world is that?
I mean, at the same time, it's not like they're... Actually, yeah, that's a good question. There's a distinct difference between anima and animals, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so like, if I say it's not like they're people, it's not
It
incredibly...
literally means.
Okay. It's not quite like their anima. They don't haven't reached that higher sense quite yet, I believe.
Not quite.
But I get we have a race to enter. Pangolife, would you like to take head on this, since this seemed to be... I saw you go into that trance you have when you start having dreams of something grander than yourself and grander than everyone here.
Pangoliath goes, this is really going to end up like the Music Man, where I'm selling false balloons to other racers, and they all take off and plummet to their deaths as we sail in front. But,
It reminds me of that Rick and Morty episode, the one where they worship the heads and they tie people, all the balloons onto people.
show me what you got.
You're like, no.
Everybody get swift. Yes. Oh, God.
Oh yeah, that's the Swifty episode.
It is
Yeah.
the Swifty episode.
They wrote the episode so they could put that song in an episode.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the dark humor of tying people to balloons.
All right. Goodbye. So, Pangoliath is willing to take... He's willing to take point. But he wants you to know that he has some issues with actually racing. It's just too much competition.
I thought you were excited for the racing.
I'm excited to see my sweet Maeve garnished in awards and trophies and merit. I'm excited to see Sedna take upon herself the mantle of leadership, for she often bears the burden of a shell. I'm excited for Carmine to kick ass in the way that only Carmine can. I'm excited. I'm excited, but you will. When someone suffers a near fatal injury, Pangoliath says as he pops his umbrella open aggressively, and I'm excited to see you, good monster, come up with a game-winning strategy using your superior intellect.
No, I mean, like, I really can't race. I already put money in the pool.
As Pangoliath, as you're giving this inspiring monologue, the moment that you say suffers a grave and serious injury, from behind the table that y'all are coming up to, you see this Theron man trying to mount a bird and then just be thrown off of it. And he clatters to the ground. And then you just, after you're done with your monologue, you hear, I think my leg's broken. Oh, God.
Oh, no. Can I take an intrusion? No.
If you'd like.
I
But
give
they-
a mouth to mouth. No, it's the only way to fix a broken leg.
I think Carmine would like try to get into the pen and go see what's up.
Yeah. As you do, nobody really stops you because a couple of people are heading over there and they've already got a stretcher ready, as if on cue. The person who was reading sets down the book and turns around and goes, "That's the second one this week."
This seems dangerous. I'm going to sign us up. So, yeah, Pangoliath is trying to procure entry into the race, the international race around the world.
Sure. If you go up, the Theron is his name is Zalatin. You know this because they have like a little cue card in front of them, and all of these people do. They're wearing all of the same sort of uniform, but they're in different colors. This person who was reading and just got up is wearing blue. And points at them and just says, "Take them to the infirmary. I'll be with you in a moment." And they turn back to you.
We're here to win the race.
Oh, good. Well, I have 2 open spots.
Yes, there's team, Munster and Maeve in Sednaliath.
Teams are fine. No more than 2 people. They and you have to watch.
What quantifies as a person?
It's true.
It's true. Generally, we weigh in Theron weights for this. So 2 approximately, and points at Sedna, this size person will do.
Okay. We'll be right back. Oh, let us go into the sauna and dehydrate ourselves small.
It's almost shame to grow your skills back.
I put a hand on Pangalath. I'm like, Pangalath, it's okay. Why don't how do we? If we were to send the balloon as one entry, how would we race? Would we have to ride a bird on as another entry? Do they have like rentable, like a vehicle for us that we could potentially enter with?
Yes, they would have a chariot for you.
Perfect.
How many laxatives can I get for 1 XP? No, sorry, I'm trying to cut weight. No, so I think we increase our odds of winning with multiple teams. This is standard. I'm trying to think. This is my hand on my head. I'm out of character. So like when you race in the Tour de France, you enter a team of racers. I view this as kind of the same thing. Like we get matching jerseys and we're different sets, but we're part of the same organization. And we're going to set it up to win.
Sure. It what do they call that? Doubling your odds.
Yes. Hedging our bets.
The elders of the elders of used to speak of this. They would say that gambling is bad. And doubling your odds is double bad.
Carmine holds up like some ticker tape. Oh yeah, your odds are real bad.
You know who says that? Bad gamblers. So let's people who don't win say it's bad. Me, I put it all on the house. Okay, Pangalath has a gambling problem. He's okay with that. He's like
I'm fine.
I support this habit.
Yep. Zalatin calls after you and goes, You'll be wanting to meet your sponsors, I think.
Yes, we will.
What is a sponsor?
Sponsor is are you asking
anybody? I'm just kind of around. Cinda's almost worried now. We need to meet someone. The pressure is on. What is a sponsor?
Oh, they're probably the person who owns the animal.
Oh, okay. Great. We've met a lot of odd things in the last few days.
Yes, the sponsor usually either provides money or service to allow us to race, and in return, when we win, they get much of the credit or prize, and we get partial amounts, I believe, is how it normally works.
Oh, so it's like a third part of our team.
Well put indeed.
Great. I would like to thank them for lending us their fine bird.
So where is this sponsor, or do we have to scout one ourselves?
They'll be here within the day, probably.
Oh.
Well, the racer just broke his leg, so they should be.
Oh, so that's our new bird.
His leg is broken. Has it seen a doctor?
And he points at the person being carried away on a stretcher.
Oh.
There they go. The sponsor is looks like Xeno Glassworks, they're probably not going to be excited that another racer has gone down.
Another?
Mhm.
That Sparks said is like the way he said that. 2. And the same way each time?
No, the last one actually had a bad case of food poisoning. Has been sick for a day now. They might come back from it. But,
And the other one? Oh, right, the broken. Got it. Other way around. Check.
yeah, it's just the 2 of them.
I may be jumping to conclusions, but is it a concern that they are going down this quickly?
No, not really. So I can tell you're new here, and that's great. That's fine. We actually we're very excited to have you. I recognize your own glassware. We have a traveling people from the north who occasionally ride down by river and trade us glass. Is that similar to the kind that you are wearing right now?
Yes. Well, there is a northern grouping, but we have not heard from them in a long time.
Excellent. Well, so you're not from around here, and that's okay. Usually people don't die from these races, but it's very competitive. And usually this competition, take it from me, because I don't actually want another racer to go down before the race. Don't eat anything or drink anything that anybody gives you.
But we just left a cafe. We bathed in it.
I think you'll be fine. You only just signed up, unless you were actively talking about racing in the cafe.
Oh, no. Okay.
Are you implying that there might be some unscrupulous business practices?
Well, it's against the rules, but it tends to happen. So mind your pints and quarts, and
Carmen's gonna fade into the crowd.
So speaking of rules, what are our guidelines?
Guidelines, of course. Here, and this person's actually very glad that you asked. They produce in front of them several contracts for you to look over and sign. It is against the rules to poison other people, attack them, do anything that would do this. It seems like the broken leg incident that just happened here was pure accident. This person was not riding their bird the right way, but perhaps the food poisoning was not. But it seems like it's against the rules to tamper with another person's chariot, another person's bird, or another person in any way. That said, the nature of these races can be kind of mischievous, especially when you start getting outside the realms of the audience. Think speed racer, and when they're going around those turns that don't have the camera anymore, and that kind of thing.
Right. It's a little shady. Yeah. Okay.
So there are zone rules.
Like you're not supposed to beat up people with crowbars, but Speed Racer does at that time.
Right.
So.
This is very helpful. When we sign up, do we get some kind of like participation badge or way to let everybody know that we are entered into such a fantastic competition?
Yes, if you stay here for just a bit longer, Xenos should be around shortly. And we'll give you all of that after they yell at me for another one of their races going down.
It's not really...
Well, if this Xenos doesn't have an extra bird, then we might have to figure out which are our two that will be racing. I vote for the Dream Team, Pangoliath and Maeve.
I agree. We will be a great distraction. I am a fantastic bump in the road. It's not really a road. It's like I'm a fantastic object in the air. I will slow them down.
Oh, you're a fantastic thing that Pangoliath has.
Pangoliath walks from behind a partition where he was changing into his wrestling singlet. It's kind of like a wrestling singlet. It's very like tight, form-fitting little strappies over his shoulders, and he has like a really tight skull cap with a propeller beanie on top. And like he's doing his stretches. He's
Oh my gosh. So Zalatin will clarify for you that both of these racers belonged to the same solicitor, the same person.
Oh.
So you will both be racing under the same sponsor.
I brought
Okay,
matching
great.
singlets.
Perfect. You guys do realize that I'm not a conifer. Mankind don't move fast, right?
Slow and steady wins the race.
I mean, he's in a balloon.
True.
Technically, you don't have to move. You just have to stay put on something that's moving
Yes.
and get rid of anyone who tries to get close to you.
That I can probably do. Which is why I asked about the rules, and apparently that's illegal in certain areas, but not in others.
Great. Well, then we'll be. I've never ridden a bird. I didn't even know there were birds large enough to ride.
I wouldn't tell your sponsor that, says Zalatin and smiles at
We're
Sedna.
exploring
I will-
sarcasm.
I'm learning what this word means. I will do my best.
Yes. You are not waiting for long. Not at all before a Theron woman, tall, with light brown skin and this beautiful garb made out of flowing. It appears to be glass, but perhaps it's some other kind of material that's woven in with the glass.
Hmm.
And she is storming her way up to the racing podium.
Oh, a sponsor.
Yes. While this is going on, Sir Carmine, you disappeared into the crowd. Where did you go? What do you
I'm
want to
looking
do?
for crime.
Huh? Looking for
I'm
crime?
looking for crime.
All right. Go
Basically-
ahead. Where are you looking for crime? Let's start there. Like, what are you? There's there's cash boxes. There's gambling areas. There's What are you looking for?
I'm specifically looking for clues on the group that's been like poisoning and like doing race crimes.
Race crimes.
Race crimes.
Okay. Let's start out with an initial check. For that, you will first need to figure out what they were poisoned with. So checking with the original racer to see what they were poisoned with might be your first step. Unless you want to just, in general, sort of like look through people's stuff and see if you see any sort of chemicals, or like check with the local fisheries to see if anybody's just like spoiling them on purpose. Something like that. So what crimes in particular would you like to go after first?
Yeah, let's check in with the sick. See
Okay.
what we can determine.
Awesome. You can easily get that information from them. They have an infirmary in-house here. It seems that for whatever reason, the racers are very well taken care of here, and they probably don't want them leaving before the race actually starts. People talk a lot. If you find out that that one racer has left the race, that could affect gambling odds, that kind of thing. So you managed to find them in the infirmary fairly easily just by asking for the person who's suffering from food poisoning. They report to you that they ate at at several places with several sponsors over the course of the last few days. One person in particular stuck out to them. They went out drinking with with somebody who they thought was their friend, but it couldn't be them though. It's probably not. They've eaten a lot of stuff over the past couple of weeks.
But that sounded very suspicious. Okay.
It did to you. Like they don't. It's like they're telling you about it, but they don't want to believe it themselves.
Okay. Which probably means it's true. All right. We're gonna look for that person.
All right. That person's name they give you pretty reluctantly is Dione.
Okay.
And Dione is a Tannin. Also another racer, like a fellow racer with the same sponsor, which is also why they are reluctant. Which would still be Xeno's last works.
It's same sponsor but different like team? Like
different team, yeah.
Okay, perfect. That makes perfect sense.
Marcy, just so that you know, we have received a $50 donation. The message read, "A race? How curious."
How curious. The most curious of races. All right. See if I can make it weird.
That's all we ask for, really, Marcy.
Yeah, of course.
Just make it weird.
So, at this point, you meet Xenos. We're going to cut back to the party who's about to meet their sponsor, who's furious that yet another person has gone down. Not relieved that it had to do with being bucked off the bird. And she talks to Zalatin first for a while, about half an hour. If you listen in at all to the conversation, it's a lot of stern frustration. And eventually she comes over to you and she says, "I understand that you're going to be..." And she looks at this Pangoliath and this shell and this tree and the small mouse on the shell person's shoulder and says, "Racing for me. So...
For you we shall win all things."
I don't know anything about you, so let's have a seat and talk. I'm going to take you up to one of the private suites here, and we're going to get to know each other a little bit. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
And she takes you up to a private box that overlooks the arena. It's fairly nice. It's upholstered with this beautiful red crimson cushioning, and sits with you if you choose to sit, and says, "So, this is going to be fun. We do the race every year with Xenos Glassworks. The deal we gave the last racer will still hold up, and I am contracted and I'm obligated to help you in any way that I can. You'll be treated very well. Anything you want. Just don't speak to any press yet. And you're also meant to wear these. And as part of the curiosity, she's going to take out this bag that she's been carrying and open it up. And within each is this beautiful sort of film that looks very similar to the dress that she's wearing. And she hands a piece of each of you. It's like a package almost. And when you unfurl it, it appears to be some sort of garb. So that's going to be 4 of these. And she hands you the same size package, Munster, but tells you not to worry. It will resize itself for you.
Always convenient.
Yeah. You now each have charmed glass armor. Each of which will add 1 armor, and it fluctuates and changes color depending on the light.
Thanks.
Fill mine up
Sid
with
is
a
like-
soft drink.
She's very impressed and excited. Thank you. Thank you, sponsor. Why don't we have more sponsors? I look at the rest of the group.
They're
Well,
not very popular.
want something in return.
Oh, what can we give you in return?
Oh, just finish the race. That's all. That's all you need to do.
Just
All of us?
I hope so. I want my
me too.
birds. I want my birds to be healthy. I want you to finish the race.
Great.
I will tell you that some of these racers and some of these sponsors don't behave according to the rules. I don't know who they are, and I don't know why my other racers wasn't. I've had tips with some of the other sponsors in the past before. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm very tired all the time. And
Yes.
I'm ready to not be tired. Once this race is over, I will be able to sleep again. All I want you to do is finish with everything intact.
My.
You don't care about anything else, just that.
Yes.
Well,
Noted.
you've been. Oh, sorry.
And whenever somebody asks you a question, just try to say how much you love the clothing. I can give you some prompts if you like.
It is the finest garment I have ever worn, Pangolius says with a real true tear forming.
You look smashing.
It's very good. Oh, and Pangolith, she reaches over and shows you that if you pinch the garment in such a way, it'll stay fixed there until you take it apart again.
Where does she show this on me?
Just like
Okay.
underneath your arm.
All right.
So it'll close.
Not pinching by the hip or anything like that. Just like
No,
under the
no,
arm.
just like under the arm or like or over it.
Two things very quickly. One,
Yes.
given that the size requirements didn't really limit member of my size just adding on to a group of two already, we do have another friend who would be very useful in the race if you have an extra garment available.
I would love to hear of them.
Yes, he went to go do some scouting. I believe he's a Hell Knight, is how he likes to be introduced.
Hell Knight.
Yes.
And
They're very proficient with maintaining control. I believe he's doing some law keeping as we speak, making sure that there's no shenanigans going on with the other racers.
I see. A Hell Knight. I would be absolutely pleased to have a Hell Knight on my racing team. That would be incredible.
And I'm sure he'd be pleased with a gift such as, and he holds up the box.
Bring them to me, and I will see about that. Now the race is tomorrow, so please get all the rest you can. I've never had a Gens racer before, and she looks you up and down. You need to be strong to race, and as I understand it, roots, the ability to root down. Can you do that?
Yes, but don't you need to stay mobile in a race?
The carriage is mobile.
Hmm.
You just need to keep it stable.
Oh. So you don't mind that if I tinker with the carriage?
There are certain rules prohibiting any sort of manipulation of the carriage that would be a direct infraction of the rules. If you were to do something like that, I would tell you not to.
Excellent.
So.
Yes, I can root.
Excellent. Wonderful. And of course, this Hell Knight may go with you. Having a small racer is always good, though, because the weight limit can be a real distraction for some of the birds. But I think it'll be fine. Most of the people racing have two on their team. So.
Well, we will sure try our best.
Of course. If you need lodging for the night, you may stay here. I could also house you on my estate if you'd like to go there too. After the last week, I'm not so sure that I want any of my racers to stay here. So the opportunities are open for you, but if you prefer to stay here, I understand. I will stay here for a bit longer if you'd like to bring your Hellknight friend to me, and I will size them up and see if they actually want to race, and we can get a contract sorted and all that.
All right. Pangoliath is preparing to bind Carmine. This could get ugly. I'm just kidding.
Pangoliath, why are you pulling out all those ropes?
I'm a knot master. Here, let's just
True.
play a game. It's called Pango Handsies. Maeve, grab them.
Which is funny because, Carmine can just ignite himself on fire, so...
Right.
Which is unpleasant.
Pangoliath burns slowly.
So, Maeve and Pangoliath, myself, Munster, and Carmine's bedding?
I guess we'll have to ask him when he comes back if he actually wants to race. If they want to race.
Munster is so small, and this is done by weight, if I heard that right. So we could have a team of 3 and a team of 2.
It's true. Though I feel like both myself and Carmine might weigh a single bird down.
Pango's smaller than a Theron. He's big, but for a pangolin, so he's
Right.
probably I like to believe I'm quite heavy, but I'm actually... Well, you saw him without his scales.
Munster will pulls out his needle sword. It's like, I wonder how many of you could fit in here, technically.
In your needle?
It is a 10 by 10 foot room. Though gaining access in and out repeatedly might be a bit complicated.
I can shrink myself to a point, but I don't think I can that small.
Pangoliath tries to fold in half, and it's kind of like trying to fold a bowling ball in half, and he's like, yeah! And it's just his spine groans, and he's like, I'm quite good at rolling, but not shrinking.
Munster would like to try something. It just as this quick experiment.
Yeah,
He
sure.
wants to enter the needle room, which doesn't really have much in it. He hasn't figured out what he wants to store in there yet, if anything, constantly. And he's going to ask Maeve or Senna or Pangoliath to hold it up and drop it on the floor. And he wants to see what happens to him who's inside it. Such in the way, can he use this as a weird makeshift parachute if he needs to?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you get into the needle. It's an odd process. It doesn't require much effort on your part. The needle does all the work. You put your little paws on it and open it up, and it opens up just like a rubber band would, but there's less tension about it. It easily opens up, and you're able to step inside it. And it maneuvers and fixes itself to the positioning of your paws as you close it behind you. It's pretty dark in here. The light that's coming in is, literally coming in through the eye of a needle. And as who would like to drop it?
I'll drop it.
Okay. Maeve, you drop it, and you watch as this pin drops to the floor, and I'm not going to say roll a new character.
That would be great.
There's no change in the room. It's magically protected and very quiet in here.
So in other words, you don't realize I've dropped it yet. You just stay in there forever, and we're just like,
Whenever you're ready.
I will get him to come out now.
After maybe a minute or two, he'll pull himself out and look around and see something.
Yep, you do so. And you're now on the floor.
Well, I feel safer flying up with Pangoliath now. Now that I have a backup parachute, so to speak. Oh, you know what I just thought of? We didn't get our new friend here. Anything? By the way, is he going to stay with us for the entirety of the race, Edna?
Is he comfortable?
Checking on our frog friend.
I can't see into my shell without taking it off, so you'll have to peer in.
My friend, first of all, I'd like to thank you for checking in on me. It means a lot that you would come and ask me how I'm doing when all I'm really wondering is how you're doing. This is a very beautiful part of town, and I really appreciate it. I'm doing well.
Well, since they don't seem to really care about the fact that I'm wearing a shell... Wait... Are shells good in the air? I feel like that's not the case. Are they... Will it act like a parachute?
It might.
Maybe we'll leave the shell with Carmine, and then it won't matter, because he's comfortable in the shell, and we don't have to tell him. So it's like, don't tell him we're gonna leave him behind.
Well, I suppose I don't trust them with your shell. They might gamble it away.
Carmine? But if we leave it with Carmine on the ground...
Compulsive! I've seen the look in their beady eyes.
Technically, they're vengeful, not compulsive.
A vengeful gambler. It's... Pangoliath hates to see the shell go.
Well, I do
Might
too.
have to. I know.
Just for the race. It's not the appropriate uniform, I assume.
Yeah, I've got that right here, and I hold up the singlet with the propeller beanies.
Must we all wear those? And it's like...
How did you get my size?
I guessed.
It's gonna fit perfectly when I try it on.
It's like, this is the most comfortable outfit I've ever worn. Why don't we have these at the university?
New character art. Just this is our uniform for outfit. Yeah.
It just makes it fun. It's all Marcy's fault for the artwork of Pangoliath swimming, and he was wearing like little floaties, and he had a cool little outfit on.
The stripes.
Yeah, he had the little stripy swimming suit.
The striped swimsuit. I was like drawing it. I was like, no, this feels right.
I think Pangoliath needs an outfit for every sport. It's one of those.
Sedna probably puts this on over what she's already wearing.
Yeah, fair.
Because Pangoliath just put it on over what he normally wears, so
No.
logic is sound there.
Pangoliath stripped down behind a partition and came out in a new outfit.
A PG-13 partition.
Yeah.
You can see Pangoliath's sultry silhouette backlit. Da-da-da-da-da-da. He's like literally blob shaped. Just.
Okay. Well, we're in uniform. We're signed up. We know that shells are not aerodynamic, and Maeve can root herself. So I feel like we have a couple legs up or something, right?
Yes. All we're missing is Carmine. I wonder if they're almost back yet.
Carmine, if you'd like to head back, because you know they're supposed to meet their sponsor, and if Dione has the same sponsor, or they're generally probably going to be around here somewhere. If you look for them, you know them to be Tannen. And likely wearing the same uniform as all of the Xenos Glassworks people.
Okay. And we're gonna track them down.
Carmine's doing their own thing.
Look, there's more than one way to win race, and sometimes
It's true.
how you win that race is you get everyone else arrested.
That's a very Hell Knight thing to do, and I love it. I need you to go ahead and roll me an intellect check. And this is going to be for searching, for finding someone. It could be perception, it could be something else. And it's going to be a difficulty 5 task.
Finding and following tracks?
Finding and following tracks would work.
Okay. We're gonna spend some intellect, and we roll it. We're not rolling that way. 18.
Nice. You eventually find Dione, who is working on greasing up and checking their carriage for imbalances, just rotating the wheels and the like. Their teammate seems to be off somewhere else. They see you coming and then see your uniform and recognize you quite immediately as a Hell Knight. It's hard for a Tannin not to recognize a Hell Knight.
Right. I'm actually gonna go right up to them, like, right in their face, like.
They have light blue skin and a unicorn sort of horn, just a single horn in the center of their forehead.
Just kind of lean right in, like, have you done anything wrong in the past 24 hours?
The past 24 hours? I mean, go ahead and roll me an intimidation style check. It's going to be intellect, and it's going to be a difficulty. It's going to be a 3, but I'm going to drop it down to a 2 because you're a Hell Knight.
Cool. I'm going to spend some more points, and I'm trained, so I get it for free.
Nice. I mean, I didn't want to do anything wrong, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just in love, man. Person. I don't know.
In love with who? Just like, just barely holding the horn on their forehead.
They start going into too much detail about this love life that they have with this person named Delilah, who apparently is some kind of Theron woman who works down at the pier, but she maybe also still has like a partner at the time. It's very confusing.
Makes a mental note that this person needs to talk to Pangoliath in the near future for his next novel.
Oh, do tell me all the details.
So you haven't poisoned anyone today?
No, I didn't poison anyone. Oh, you're talking... Yeah, I didn't poison my friend. A lot of people are asking me about that. I didn't do anything like that.
Did you go out with your other partner?
Yeah, they're fine. They're actually just over there. They point. Their partner is currently very shyly trying to feed the birds some feed, and then just like they're fine for right now. I guess until the birds stop. I'm trying to teach them how to be better with the bird, and it's a slow process. Like I'm really sorry. I don't know anything about that night. We were dining out at this place called Elipis, and it's like this kind of Elisanian place. A lot of the racers go there, and I mean, nobody else got food poisoning that I know of.
Yeah, that's the problem. All right, let's go over the horn.
It's an erogenous zone. I'm just kidding.
Doesn't matter to Carmine.
Right. So that's really all I know about. But I didn't poison my friend. I don't know why I would. It doesn't do well for. I would lose my job.
I got one more question. They pull out a map of the race course.
Yeah.
Where are the blind zones?
Blind zones? They nod and they show you more or less the entire race course. It starts out in this amphitheater. And then it goes out and it goes up to the hill that is a bit far away in the distance. If you look to where the water is coming from the river, there is a big chain of mountains eventually that you reach. Before then, on this side though, there's a very tall hill. They call it Thunder Hill. It gets struck by lightning a lot up there. And then it goes down, it crosses the river, and then comes back around over the bridge after going through a small forest. Some of the only forests that can be found even in this area are surrounding this river. And they point out that more or less the spaces between here and that big Thunder Hill is fairly blind, and everything in the forest is blind. And they point out that that's because there's a lot of rocks, falling rocks that come down. There's a lot of blank space for racers to get lost in, and the forest is just untraceable. Gants would know, in your experience with the Ganses, a lot of Gants forests are charmed so that you can't really look into them. This is by design. And it's part of the allure of the race.
I'm just, in my head, I'm trying to calculate if someone was planning traps, where would they do it? And this is... I'm just making mental notes. All right, well... Keep on the straight and narrow. Make sure, and points to the other person. Make sure you don't lose a finger.
They jump back and they're like, okay, all right, tag out, I can't do this. So they run back.
Just throw it.
Just Dione in front of you says, no, I can't just throw it, because that actually teaches them to bite forward.
Yeah.
You're better off just shoving your hand into their mouth. They walk over and actually show you how it's done with this strange amount of confidence for somebody who's surrounded by people getting injured by these things all day. So. Meanwhile, back up in the viewing box, Xenos is still talking to you. Just a little bit. She's letting you have your own conversations. Eventually, there's this sort of stark, sudden change in her demeanor. Her shoulders sort of tighten a bit as she looks out, and there's this odd quiet that falls. And she gazes down and says, "The Argalorians have arrived."
To race?
If you look down, yes, there are two teams of Argalorians, both of which have their own Praran Bard birds. They have no sponsors. Their carriages are this odd sort of red color, and they look crystalline in appearance. They have birds who are albino white, and they are clothed completely. You can't see any trace of their skin. And they are escorted by this tall figure which floats next to them. It's gliding, almost, also garbed completely in this gauzy material. And they cross the field.
Just for clarification, Argalorians, they're the people from Volcano Land, right?
The Firelands. The lands of mirage and mystery, yes. You normally don't see them unless they are refugees of some kind, but these appear to be valid contestants in this race.
Can I make an assumption that the Argalorians prevail every year in the race?
Yes. But it's why I just want you to finish, and safely. You don't need to win.
We see these Argalorians?
Yes, you do. Yeah, you see them crossing the field and then disappearing into one of the
Goliath wants to towel off to him.
I put a hand on Pangoliath. I'm like, Pangoliath, we should not provoke our fellow contestants. They have every right to be here just like we do.
Pish, pish, posh, we're friends. I must go make friends with my Galorians. I'll never get the chance again. And I'm like, hopping over.
If you'd like to, go ahead and make me a speed check. I'm going to make it a difficulty 3 to rush over, or like even just slide down the side, because you do have a balloon. You probably have a parachute of some kind. Like...
Yeah, and oh gosh, sorry. Let me reopen my character sheet. So I think there's a couple things that give may even reduce this potentially to a 0 for Pangoliath.
Sure.
Where's my Isle of Lysia thing again? Why did I close roll 20? There's too many gaps that I put the. All right.
Lysia. 7 windows required to open at all times.
Yeah, I know. Well, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm launching in. So I'm gonna make a roll, and this roll is possibly going to be reduced from the start. So the first thing that we do is we open Pangoliath's character sheet. Eric Vulgaris, make roll 20 go faster. Come on. This is a stream game. How quickly can Pangoliath run to his death? Alright, so the first thing that he's going to do is he is trained in moving quickly. So he's trained in doing that.
Okay.
The second thing is his endurance won't matter. That's if he's doing it for a long time.
Endurance will really help during the race, though.
I hope so. So I'm going to use edge, or my effort, to reduce it. I have an edge in speed. And then I'd like to use my story asset. Pangoliath has often chased after people trying to get away from him that are beautiful things of potentially the underworld and the Firelands. You know, there's a connection there.
There would be, yes. All right. So you jump down off of this box and go after them. Xenos is looking after you, perplexed, and turns to you, Sedna, and says, "Is your friend doing what I think he's doing?"
I genuinely don't know.
Depends on what you think he's doing.
If that's the case.
They see me.
You've got a
Okay.
brave pangolin on your side.
Yes. So I rolled a 17 and I had reduced it to 1. So it's just kind of like, don't do 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 do. Pangoliath like rolls right in front of them.
Yep.
Dun-dun-dun.
You catch up very quickly, and the tall figure who seems to be gliding comes up to meet you and throws their hand out. As this hand unfurls, you see how long it is. It's almost like a set of claws that just spring out, uncoiling like a fractal.
Time out for the players. I played Owl a long time, and I've really wanted to meet one of these. Like a long time. So
this is actually not Pangoliath. This is Grant.
This is just Grant.
This is Grant having a fanboy moment.
At both.
Grant and Pangoliath are...
Gotta go fast. This thing rises up to a full height and removes the gauzy hood on its head, revealing a mask underneath. The mask is gold in appearance with 3 horns that twist above it, and it appears just like the Demiran clothing that you've seen here on Xenos and other people to be moving slightly.
Pangoliath cracks like the most genuine smile he's ever had. His eyes turn to dots. He's kind of, and like he tips his hat, and from it he pulls out 2 small rings. They both have small yellow gems on them, and I'm going to spend XP for these. These are pangolin friendship rings. And he explains, he goes, "I've waited my whole life to be your friend, and I want to give you these rings to remember me by." And he kind of holds them out to both of them. I'm also going to use an XP for my kindness, so that's going to be a total of like 5 XP. The short-term benefits and the kind, and he's going to kind of bow his head humbly and offer a hand to each to take these friendship rings. Please don't kill me now, Marcy.
Well, hold on.
If I die.
Before I do this, can you remind me and also the audience what kindness means?
Okay, so kindness means I can spend an XP to smooth over a situation. For example, I'll read the text as written. Sometimes strangers just help you out. To gain the aid of the stranger, you must pay 1 XP to the GM, and the GM determines the nature of the aid. Usually the act of kindness isn't enough to turn a bad situation completely around, but it may moderate a bad situation and lead to new opportunities. For example, if you are captured, a guard loosens your bond slightly, brings you water, delivers a message. In this situation, the reason I'm doing this is Argalorians are completely alien to me, both as a player and as a character. And it's one of these things where I just want to come off as, kind of like the everyone loves a puppy, unless you're allergic. I hope they're not allergic to Pangoliath. But it's one of these things where I'm willing to spend an XP and I'm willing to burn 4 XP for 2 temporary benefits just because I don't have friendship rings anymore. I've given away all my possessions to offer up these small little stony rings to these Argalorians, because I may never see an Argalorian again in this campaign, and Dagnabbit, I know, for me as a player, it's very important. And for Pangoliath, he'd never seen them.
So the thing that that is staring you down, this very tall thing. It's about 7 feet tall, maybe 7.5, with the horns coming off this mask. What you can assume to be the eyes light up, but then there are 3 holes that you could probably assume to be something where a nose or a mouth would be. They also light up as well with this blue effervescent light that blinds you for just a moment and then fade away. And the thing extends its other hand to you, these same claws unfurling, and allow you to place the rings there.
I'm not gonna cry. Hey, give it to me.
And it picks it up, it inspects it, and then puts it on one of the claws, and it falls all the way down because fingers are so slight on these things that it can, and it still hangs. And then it puts the other one on its other finger, and the hands furl back up. And it says to you in Demiran, "You are very kind to give us such an offering. We've not been welcomed in this way before, in such a truly authentic, good greeting for an Argalorian. Usually people just stare at us like we're some kind of alien. Let me see what I have here for you." And the Argalorian Hefton priest begins searching through the pouch on its side and pulls out a small, it looks like a carved black, maybe obsidian, tiny lizard, and extends it to you.
I take it humbly. Pleasure meeting your acquaintance. Goodbye. And I roll back up the hill.
Well,
yeah.
How odd. And they continue on.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. This was very important to me.
The lizard has a very big belly that it seems to be holding. And when you shake it, it makes a sound as though there's something in there.
Ooh.
Just one thing, clicking back and forth. It makes a slight ringing.
It's filled with the Isle of Lysia. All right. I'm back with you again. They're our friends. They're my friends now.
After a year, you finally met an Argalorian.
I know. Well, longer than a year, 18 months.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I've been playing a long time. And every time someone says Argalorian, it's like I just hear Sharong and I making up rumors about them in my head late at night. And like the first pre-game is perhaps an Argalorian. I was like, hey, I know people who are fans of this will appreciate that.
And Pangoliath made a friend.
Yes.
Maybe, who knows?
That's how I die. It's like, and this will poison his brain till he collapses.
Yep. Oh. And Xenos is looking over and regards the rest of you and says, that went better than expected.
I'm the best pangolin.
The best pangolin is the one who gives gifts.
The best pangolin is the one that spends 5 XP on a social hello. Hi. I'm spending 5 XP to say hi, Marcy.
You did it. You
Spin the
didn't die.
beanie, propeller and victory.
Yes.
And you know you needed all 5 of those.
Possibly. The nice thing is, if I could use the beanie to, like, slowly fly uphill. It'll work that way.
I mean, you pilot aircraft. It's
No.
fine. It's probably fine. So, Carmine, you would have been in a place where you saw this exchange happen. It's all one huge arena, and you would have seen Pangoliath speaking to people who, as a Hell Knight, you might not have seen Argalorians before, but you know this is a very normal thing for them to dress like outside of Argaloria. Outside of Arglorious. You've seen a couple come through the Hellgate before.
I think Carmine would have just done like the hands on hips. Ha! That went better than expected.
Nice. And you see Pangoliath head back up to the box afterward where the rest of the party is.
I think Carmine might go meet up with them.
Okay.
Just,
You may do so. You may do so. I don't know what that sentence was, but yes, you may do that. You can follow Pangoliath straight up, or you can try the stairs. It's your choice.
oh, definitely going up the stairs.
All right. Yep.
Sedna, when you guys arrived, she's stretching for the competition. She's a warrior. This is what she does. She's like touching her toes, stretching her stuff. She's probably taking it far too serious. Especially since the sponsor doesn't even care if they win.
So,
Oh, Carmine, there you are.
Oh, you're all here.
is this your Hellnet friend?
Yes, this is Sir Carmine.
Sir Carmine, are you interested in racing tomorrow?
What? No.
Oh.
I've seen all your racers.
Well, there you have it. I thought he might be. I thought they might be interested.
No.
Fine.
I've got other stuff going on.
Pangoliath's ears droop. He's just wearing a singlet, too. He's, like, sulking.
Oh, that's quite all right. I really only had 4 uniforms to give anyway. But
Have you seen these uniforms, Carmine? Check
Yeah,
them
they're way
out.
too shiny. Like that's just gonna like dazzle you at some point in combat, and you're gonna be like, "Oh man, I'm wearing such a shiny thing," and then they kill you.
They're literally made of fire.
That fire's not shiny; it's bright.
Yay! That causes Pangoliath to aneurysm and just collapse. No, it's... Gosh darn it.
Well, it seems like you're all signed up then. That was unexpected.
Yes.
And we don't even have to win. We just have to finish.
Oh
Just
no, you
have-
have to win. Who do you think I bet
You're
on?
not even in the race, Carmine.
Who do you think? Who do you think I bet on?
Oh,
It was like
that's
101
right, you
odds
bet.
to you guys.
Oh. You didn't even do like a safety bet on the...
Oh no, I'm covered.
well, thank you for considering anyway. But I think I have my races here.
Yeah, this conversation's for racers only, and Pangoliath, like, puts his back in front of Carmine.
Cool. I got business. Just wanted to check in.
Business.
Of course.
Isn't Carmine like much taller than Pangoliath?
Way taller. Hardly even notices I'm there.
I think Carmine's like 6'4".
Yeah. Pangoliath is a good 4.5 feet tall if he jumps.
Oh, by the way, there is a mixer tonight if you'll be interested. Just one last party before the race gets started.
Well, that sounds like a super bad idea with poisoning. Carmen says as they leave the room.
It's expected for races to attend, but if you do not want to, I will not begrudge you for it.
I
Party?
will be there.
I do have clothing for you to wear if you stop by my shop.
What's wrong with this? And she like looks down and is wearing the onesie over everything else that she has on.
Nothing's
Including
wrong.
Michelle or not including Michelle?
Nothing's wrong if you're planning on not going.
Oh.
I mean,
Maybe we should. I like whispered to the group.
Should.
It could give us some insight into our competition.
Pangoliath, your new Angolorian friends may be there as well.
Yeah, Pangoliath's gonna totally, sing Steppin' Out with a Star from the Great Muppet Caper, where, so hand me my cufflinks and straighten my tie. He's gonna totally, sing the whole song and get dressed up for the mixer tonight.
How about it, Maeve? Up for a social event?
Of course. I need to know who to look out for.
That's part of it. Getting a feel for other racers is good. There's about 20 in total competing. So.
Oh, and Miss Sponsor, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to see the chariot attachment that we'll be using for the race at some point in time.
Sure, of course. I can show that to you. You may call me Miss Xenos.
Xenos. My apologies.
Xenos Glassworks, right? What's her name?
Xenos Glassworks is the actual...
The actual company. Her name is Xenos, or she's
Yes.
Xenos. Okay.
Oh, it's a family company. Okay.
It's a family name.
Will you partake of partying?
Yes, I have to be there. But it's a large event. If anyone asks you, just put in a good word about the store. Mind your manners. Don't try not to hurt anyone. Any sort of infraction can be very, very bad for this. Oh, and the Arcby Hammer will be there as well.
What?
The royal family will be there.
Did we know this? I looked to the group. Did we know there was a royal family?
I believe this is new information.
The royal family Fjord will be there. In addition to, she goes on, the royal family of Fiat as well. Who also have racers here.
Well, at the very least, blatant poisoning will probably not occur.
No, they all have tasters. And generally there's no death here. It's all in good fun.
Is there a dress code?
Yes, this is why I'm offering to give you clothing for the event.
Well, if there is a dress code, then maybe we should save our uniforms for the race itself. Clothing's nice. We can do clothing. Right, Sir Carmine? I look over to Carmine. We want to
Carmine's not in the
blend.
building.
Oh, you didn't come back up. Oh, so they haven't come back up to join us. Pangoliath and Carmine haven't?
No, Carmine entered, said hello, left.
Great.
Carmine loves the class.
Hashtag Carmine things.
Hashtag, yeah.
Hashtag Carmine things. All right.
We'll find him steaming in a bath somewhere later.
Probably. And with that, I think that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Perfect.
As well. Just a short 2-hour episode tonight. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the cloth. The cloth itself, I can give just a little bit of background on the importance of. There is a myth surrounding the god Halfdan, the god of trickery, that the god of trickery fell in love with the god of war and fashioned them a dress that was hard as iron but flowed like silk.
Isn't this the same stuff that the dagger's made out of?
Yes.
Ah.
This is strange, though. It's made out of glass, not metal.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So cool.
That's going to be our session for tonight. Let's go around and meet the cast and get out of here. Next week we're going to do a ball and just
a ball.
Throw these folks into fancy places, except for Carmine, who will be doing Carmine things.
Carmine might be at the ball, but
maybe, who knows?
Doing other things.
But yeah, on his own agenda.
There. All right, so let's start with Ash. Ash, who are you, and where can we find you?
I am Ash. I played Maeve tonight, and you can find me. I'm Phoenix of 89 everywhere that I am. So Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. The next time I'll be on a show will be this again. So not next week, but the week after, where I'm sure Maeve will be getting her spy versus spy on and gathering all the intel she can.
Okay, great. Ethan.
Hello, I'm Ethan. You can find me at Super Robot Bear on the Twitter, where I talk about the things that I do, which involves lots of video game stuff lately and design work. I've been working on a game called Gobs of Gobs, which I've been posting things about. I made a mock cover the other day, and it looks really good. But yeah, if you're interested, follow. That's where I talk about all the things I do.
Awesome. Grant.
Hey everybody, my name's Grant Ellis. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games and the Twitch producer for WebDM's Twitch channel. I'll be on an upcoming episode of their YouTube series talking about the relationship between story and play. I'll also be on an upcoming episode of Don't Split the Podcast, Tabletop Battle. A tabletop battle talking about my upcoming Kickstarter, which will be available through 2C Gaming. We're doing Dark Fairy Tales and 5th Edition Fantasy and possibly other systems if we hit all of our stretch goals.
Awesome. And Yutsai?
Hi, I'm Yutsai. I play in this game and this one only so far. Always looking to see if there's anything else I could put on my docket. Now that I'm finally getting into a good routine. You can find me on Twitter at Saisu, Tsaisu. But other than that, just happy to be here.
Awesome. And my name is Marcy. We'll get to Dot in a second so she can wrap us up and get us out of here. My name is Marcy. You can find me a lot of the time on Goldheart Gaming. We play before this game, where I am finally playing a paladin, but I'm playing it exactly the same way as a rogue. So sorry. And then on Saturdays, I play there in Water Dragon Heist as a more rogue character who is more true to a wizard. And on Thursdays, you can find me on Unmade Gaming. We are just about to start Symbaroum. And that's me.
Awesome. And I'm Dot. Thanks, Guiding, for coming out on this Sunday for a little... this was an intriguing episode, at least for me anyways, because I think everybody's like, oh, we're going to race. Wait, are we competitive people? I don't know. Do we even want to do this? I think we're going to do this. Like, it was just this like baby stepping. Like, we went into the crazy labyrinth. No questions. No problem.
Like one of my favorite parts about this session, I was just like, I'm going to keep shoving social responsibility on them and seeing where they say stop.
Right, and all of us are like, okay, all right, yeah,
You're going to be in a race. Oh, also, our Galorians are here. Oh, okay, there's also a ball. The royal family of, like, at least 3 nations is going to be here. Also, do you want to go? Here's fancy clothing.
Yeah, it's just like, I feel like I at least have said this in a bit of a little bit of a shell shock. She's like, okay, I'm going with this because I feel like I'm supposed to. But I know this was a really fun game. I'm very excited to see where it goes, how the ball turns out, and of course how how the race turns out. So thank you all. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with more Owl. Like I said, the channel is going to take a week's break because Dot needs a break, but don't fret. There are ways that you can stay kind of in the know while we're off for a week. You can always join us on social. And of course, the Discord, which will continue to stay active even though I'm literally going to be in the middle of the woods with no signal. And of course, there's Patreon. When you join the Patreon, you do all kinds of things like help us pay the amazing cast that you see here on the screen. You assure that you gain access also to lots of extra content. Like while I'm away, you're going to be getting after shows for the shows that are currently running. So very, very, very exciting. And I want to give a little love to two good friends here for the Dot Lot. First off, Eris, who you guys know from Witch Girls, is running a sale right now. You can use that code to go check out her store. And our friend Craig with Nerdburger Games, if you guys remember, we played Capers here on the channel. He is currently running a Kickstarter for Capers Noir. Capers Covert. His last one was Noir. So if you like, I don't know, super spies, super villains, superpowers, and super undercover, this is all for you. So go check them, both of those things out. I think that link goes straight to his Kickstarter. It does. So that you can check out some more fresh new content. And if I actually remember correctly, one of my modules is currently being played, or was played earlier today. Let me double check. Mistress of Modules was sifting through one of my new AL content games, so you can go check that out. I'm sure it was kind of running, I think, while this was going on. 8 p.m. today. So literally, we should be able to hop right on over to Mistress of Modules right after this. So hang tight. In about an hour, if you pop on over to Unmade Gaming's channel, you'll be able to check out something that I wrote, which is kind of fun. They'll be playing through it. I'm hands off on this one, which is a little nerve wracking. I honestly don't know if I'll be able to watch it. So there's that. But I did a thing, and I'm excited that they're playing through it. So you can check that out. And other than that, I wish you guys a fantastic week. Like I said, I'm going to go shut off. This was the last thing I had to do before I hit like full on vacation mode. So we'll see you guys. I'll see you all in a week when I return from the woods and no running water. And until then, have a good one. Bye, everybody.